Okay, good evening, wet shavers. It's been a whole year since my previous video. Hello. Thank you very much if you are watching this. I'll try and make it as painless as possible, both for you and for me, hopefully. So, tonight's shave is coming from Greece again, because it's a year on. What a year it's been. What I want to do this evening is do a shave which is a straight razor shave. So, I brought gold dollar razor to Greece. Hopefully it's sharp enough to shave with. We'll find out as we progress. I'm going to be using Ariana and Evan's Vanille Tabac shave soap and mixed midget Omega brush. I've got the lather already whipped up there. And what I thought I'd do with this shave is, because it's a straight razor shave, I just wanted to talk a little bit about approximately 10 things, some things that I've learned over the last year of straight razor shaving. So I started over a year ago, and I started in lockdown 1, and I've been very gradually learning how to do this process. So I'm going to try and impart some of the things that I think I've learned that are worthwhile to you. It may be useful to you, it may not. We'll see. Who knows? Okay, so I'm going to get some lather on the face, and we'll sort of talk as we go. I am slightly worried about talking though whilst straight razor shaving. It's not something I normally do. I normally really need to concentrate. So we'll see. All right, try not to make it too long either. So, just getting this Ariana and Evans soap on the face. We need it to back. Really nice sort of chocolatey scent to this one. It's richer than that one though. It's just very, very good. Great. Excellent slick lather. Those of you familiar with Ariana and Evans Kaizen base, which is what this is, you'll know how good it is. So, where to start with straight razor shaving? Well, most people I think should start with something like a gold dollar razor. Whoop. We're talking about a razor which you can have imported from AliExpress for like £3, something like that. However, when they arrive, they're a disaster. You can't shave with them straight out of the box, I'm afraid. They need to be either sent away to somebody to hone properly, or you have to do it yourself. If you're learning that process, that is a long, long process. I'm not really going to talk about that on this video, because that is a whole different thing. I have been honing this year as well. I would not recommend learning to straight razor shave and hone at the same time, but believe me, this razor needed the heel taking off it here. It then needed grinding out on a diamond plate, and then the full progression through the stones to get it sharp. It takes a little while, and you need to know what you're doing. So my advice is send it to somebody who knows what they're doing. Get a razor that is sharp to begin with. I would say one of the mistakes I made was that I was trying to shave with razors that weren't really good enough to shave with, and it just didn't work, quite frankly. So I'm going to start the shave, talk you through a few other things as we go through. All right, here we go. So one of the key things that you'll notice about, or hopefully notice about the lather that I'm using, is that it's very slick and it's very hydrated. If you've come from DE shaving or other kinds of shaving, you will struggle if your lather isn't hydrated enough. So make sure it's well hydrated. It will literally dry out on your face, and it won't provide the glide that you need with a razor like this. So as another tip, hydrate your lather sufficiently. Now obviously when you're doing that, you do run the risk of the lather collapsing on you sometimes, you know. Make sure it's a good quality soap. Ariana, I would say, is a very good quality soap. It works extremely well, but there are many others equally good with their own characteristics. So I'm going to leave the goatee for tonight because I think it will get too long of a shave if I start dealing with the lips and chin area. I do sometimes do those. I sometimes leave a goatee, I sometimes don't. I like to play around with that depending on time and how I'm feeling. Mrs. Constantine quite likes a beard, so I tend to leave a bit of beard here and there. Not in the incompetent way, you understand. Well, occasionally. Next thing, obviously, to say about straight razor shaving is stretching the skin. Now you'll notice I'm stretching, making sure that the skin is tight. What you don't want is wrinkles in the skin, which are going to cause the blade to catch and cut. And obviously that's the big thing that most people are worried about. So you can see I'm stretching. And you'll see in lots of other straight razor tutorials, stretching is a key feature of this process. Now I find sometimes that there is a danger in overstretching as well, however. For example, the area under my neck here, if I overstretch, I actually run the risk of a bit of burn, so just a relaxed stretch, nothing too extravagant, actually works better. Okay. What you'll notice I'm doing with the blade down here, which you won't be able to see, is I'm rinsing the blade, but I'm rinsing the blade this way. What I'm trying to avoid is too much soap or moisture getting into the tang, into the pivot mechanism of the razor. It's not good for your razor. I mean, one of the other things I've really learned this year is that you have to look after these things. They rust with any kind of moisture. If they're kept in a humid environment, you know, don't keep them in your bathroom. You think it's great to display them in your bathroom, but it's a terrible idea because they will corrode. Your edge will dull very, very quickly. One of the key things you really need to do is look after that edge. You know, the edge is the thing you're going to shave with. And to be honest, it doesn't matter if it's a gold dollar that cost a few quid, or if it's a Philharmonica that maybe cost a lot more. If you don't look after that edge, you're not going to have a good shave with it. You know, it's just going to be awful. The razor is not going to give you that edge. So there's another tip. Really look after your razors. At the end of each shave, rinse the razor. So I'm just shaping around the lips, the moustache area. Just to give the goatee a little bit of shape, tidy up the fuzz around the edge of the mouth. Another thing to say is when you put your razor down, when you're shaving, again, be really careful of the edge. That edge is your shave. You've really got to value it, look after it. Just have a rinse. One of the key things that people will talk about with straight razor shaving is stropping. I have a leather strop. I didn't bring that with me on this holiday. No room in the case. However, one thing that I have found very effective, if you don't have a leather strop, you can hand strop. So I don't recommend you do this unless you're very experienced with stropping. Learn to strop on a very basic cheap strop, which if you cut it, doesn't matter too much, and then progress to something more expensive. Once you're familiar with the notion of stropping, you can actually quite successfully, and I do this particularly when I'm honing, strop the razor using the palm of your hand. So I'm just stropping the razor between passes just to ensure that the edge is as smooth and keen as it can be. Okay, so there's something else that you want to do, but only do that if you're experienced at doing it, otherwise you'll slice your hand. I'm just going to have a sip of ouzo. I am in Greece on holiday again. Yamas.
and we'll plough on with the second pass. So that first pass, you'll notice I basically came down
with the grain throughout the shave.
I've been talking a bit, my lather's slightly died in this brush.
It's not my favourite brush, to be honest. I just use it for holiday shaves,
But I think it's going to give me enough lather to finish
finish the job. I'm just going to do a couple of passes.
Might do an additional one, we'll see how we get on. Okay, so next pass, having come down, we're going to go across and up on the neck. So I'm going to start by just going up, again, gentle stretch. Just on that point of getting somebody else to sharpen your razors, if you get somebody really good to sharpen your razors and you find out what a sharp razor feels like, if you then start honing, you know what you're aiming for. In the end, you know whether you're getting it right or not. And I would say that is invaluable. Until I did that, I really was trying to shave and scrape my face with razors that weren't really sharp enough. And then once I realised what was possible with a sharp razor, the difference was amazing.
It is incredibly hot and humid here, by the way, today in Greece, so my lather
is dissipating somewhat.
One thing I would also like to say is I think it's really important to watch some other people who
Who are really good at straight razor shaving. You know, I am not. This is poor. Relatively speaking,
there are some great people out there who really know what they're doing. And I would like to say
particular thanks to Mats on Instagram. He isn't on YouTube, but Mats, we chatted on Instagram a lot over the last couple of years. He's a fantastic guy from Sweden. He did a shave video for me, showing me how to straight razor shave. Talking me through the process. At the time I hadn't really tried it, I wasn't sure whether I wanted to try it, but he got me enthused, so thank you Matt for that. You're a star, mate. Taught me a lot.
He's got a great Instagram with
incredible collection of fragrances as well, but there are lots of other people who are well worth watching. Anthony Esposito is excellent. Matti Lindholm, again in Sweden, brilliant straight razor shaver, always really enjoy his content. There are lots, you know, people who are very good. Dave Card is particularly excellent as well. So look them up on YouTube, check them out, see what they do. So that's 2 passes now. I'm just going to see if I can get a third out of this particular lather. I'm not sure if I can or not. I'm not really used to lathering in a hole, but we'll see how we get on. I think I've made it just a touch too thin. We'll see. I might be able to just get one quick against the green pass. So if you are going to take up straight razor shaving, I would suggest that you're going to need a minimum. I'm just going to get a little bit more soap here actually if I can. It lathers up extremely quickly, this Ariana and Evan, so I think I can probably whip up a little bit more lather just to get this shave done. If you are going to start straight razor shaving, don't expect to be great at it straight away. I mean, you need to practice just on your cheeks, I would say for, 10, maybe even 15 shaves. Finish the shave with something else, something you're familiar with, something that isn't going to be a problem, something that isn't going to cause you grief or cuts or damage, and do not worry if it does not click instantly. I only started straight razor shaving during lockdown because I suddenly had more time in the mornings. I wasn't having to walk to work, I wasn't having to start work at quite the early hour that I was previously. So I had an extra 20 minutes every morning just to play about. And I thought, I'm just going to try this out. I was also doing most of my work online, so if people saw my face and it had a few nicks or cuts, which are bound to happen, they do occur, then it wasn't a big issue. And it took me, I would say, and I don't shave every day by the way,
In fact, that's one of the things about straight razor shaving. I say the best straight razor shaves happen when you've got sort of 2 or 3 days of growth. I've just taken off best part of 5 days, I think. But, you know, 30 shaves, I would say, is the minimum. A lot of people say that. I would say, actually, you learn a lot and you keep learning throughout. You know, I don't know how many I'm up to now, but I would say, you know, 100, 150, I don't know. You just have to keep learning, keep watching good people do it, and find out what works for you. You know, certain ways that I'm doing this now might not work for you and your skin. They might not. Some people will find the blade feel and angle really instantly. I did not. I really struggled with it. I found it a real challenge. I was basically really scared of slicing my face open. And a lot of people are, but you might say, what's the point of doing it then? You know, if it's scary, if it's worrying, if you're going to cut yourself, why do it? Well, I would say the reward, for me at least, has been that I have really sensitive skin. I've had it most of my life, and it does not like being shaved very often, or you know, very thoroughly. But when you need a good shave, you want to do it without any pain or suffering afterwards. I can honestly say straight razor shaving, particularly using natural stones to finish the blade, so Japanese natural stones, have produced the most comfortable shaves I've ever had, where there's no sting, no burn, no problems at all. And it, you know, that for me at least has really been a revelation, but that didn't happen at the start. I think what happened initially is I had a lot of frustration. I had a lot of shaves that were half finished, that were terrible, where I had to you know, grab a cartridge razor or a D razor and finish up with that. But if you get it right, and when you do get it right, it's fantastic. Obviously, your particular beard, your particular style, the way you do things, that will vary, and it will work for you in different ways. But that's been my experience, and that's why I kind of want to share this with you, because I had some excellent shaves from double edge razors, you know, some excellent products out there. I always enjoy trying new products, but ultimately using one of these, and it doesn't matter if it's a few quid on a gold dollar, or if it's, as I said before, a Philharmonica, you're going to get a good shave if you've got a good edge on the thing and you know what you're doing with it. It's worth persevering with. It's a skill that personally I really enjoy. I like spending a bit of time in the morning or in the evening. Just have a rinse there with myself in the mirror, preparing myself for the day and performing a sort of repetitive skill, which I think yields a better face feel, better skin. I mean, my neck normally at the end of a shave is extremely prickly, extremely tender. Aftershaves, particularly alcohol-based ones, will hurt quite a bit. This, you know, straight razor shaving, when you get it right, when you get that angle right, and you get that process right, three passes, 2 even, you'll get a really good finish and an excellent straight razor shave, and you will enjoy it in the end. But it's a matter of perseverance. So that is it. You know, your mileage may vary on all of these things. I hope that's been at least slightly useful for you. What I'm going to do with this razor now is thoroughly dry it with some tissue, make sure there's no moisture on it, and I always store my straight razors with some silica gel so that they don't corrode, so that we're keeping the moisture to an absolute minimum, and that way the blade will last a little longer. And I'll also make sure to hand strop it a little bit, or I'd strop it on cotton and leather if I was at home. I am on holiday. I'm just going to use a little sample of this stuff, Stella Alpina,
from Saponificio Varesino. A very nice aftershave, I suspect. So that's what I'm going to finish up with. Yeah, that stuff's lovely. Very good. And after that, I'm going to apply some of this stuff. It's been a very hot day. I'm going to moisturise with some Arko. Arko is extremely affordable, Turkish classic moisturiser for men. It's wonderful stuff. Love it. Again, that was a tip from Mats. Thank you for that, Mats. He put me onto that stuff. Really valued that information. So I hope you've enjoyed this relatively brief straight razor shave. Thank you for joining me. It may be another year before I do another one, who knows. But I've had a very enjoyable straight razor shave in a very hot bathroom. So thanks a lot. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.